Thank you, Chairman King, and it's good to see my good friend Senator Whitehouse here, who has always been a champion of open and fair elections, and I very much support his DISCLOSE Act and hope that we can move it forward. We have a serious problem and a great challenge. Our campaign finance system is failing and is broken. It's being dismantled step by step by a narrow majority of the Supreme Court. Excuse me, taking us back to Watergate-era rules, the same rules that fostered corruption, outraged voters, and prompted campaign finance regulations in the first place. From 1976 and Buckley versus Vallejo, when the court first tied campaign cash to free speech, to Citizens United, when the tortured logic reached its peak and corporations became people. The court's McCutcheon decision in April was the latest blow, further opening the floodgates for wealthy individuals to donate to an unlimited number of candidates. At this point, 5 conservative justices have said preventing outright bribery is the only legitimate basis for regulation. This isn't about free speech, and the American people know it. It's about wealthy interests trying to buy elections, in secret, with no limits, period. Because the speech we are talking about here isn't free, Citizens United and McCutcheon are not about the grassroots small donor. It's about the big guys, the really big guys, billionaires and millionaires. Political reporter Ken Vogel has come out with a book about the new era of campaign spending. He calls the book, and it's Big Money. He reports that outside groups, super PACs, and other independent outfits spent $2.5 billion in the 2012 campaign. Open a newspaper. We are seeing more and more political coverage about which billionaires are spending tens of millions of dollars on the political system. This is all coming at the expense of middle-class citizens and the challenges they face. It's a broken system based on a flawed premise that spending money on elections is the same thing as free speech. There are only 2 ways to fix this. The court overturns Buckley, which is not likely, or amend the Constitution to overturn previous misguided court decisions and prevent future ones. That is why I built on bipartisan efforts going back decades and introduced S.J. Res. 19 last June to restore the historic authority of Congress to regulate the raising and spending of money for federal political campaigns. This would include independent expenditures and would allow states to do the same at their level. It would not dictate any specific policies or regulations, but it would allow Congress to pass sensible campaign finance reform laws that withstand constitutional challenges. We are seeing momentum. S.J. Res. 19 was just reported by the Judiciary Committee last month. It now has 46 co-sponsors, and a companion measure has been introduced in the House with more than 110 co-sponsors. I will continue to push for a constitutional amendment. We need comprehensive reform, but in the interim, we also need to follow the money, which is exactly what Senator Whitehouse and the DISCLOSE Act intend to do. The DISCLOSE Act of 2014 asks a basic and more than fair question. Where does the money come from, and where is it going? The American people deserve to know who is spending all this money to influence their vote, and they deserve to know before, not after, they head to the polls. That's why the DISCLOSE Act, that is what the DISCLOSE Act will achieve. It is practical, sensible, and long overdue. We have a broken system. McCutcheon is the latest misguided decision. It won't be the last. Congress needs to take back control by passing a constitutional amendment. We all know that it will take time. In the meantime, the checkbooks will be out. The money will keep flowing. We should pass the DISCLOSE Act. Billionaires may keep spending, but they can't keep hiding. Americans are losing faith in our electoral system. There is just too much money hidden in the shadows It's time to restore that faith. The Disclose Act is a step in the right direction. You know, it was said here several times, over and over again, that somehow this is about free speech. What Disclose is about is the basic core principle of the voters knowing where the money is coming from. Hundreds of millions of dark money, and I see a chart here on the table that I know Senator Whitehouse is going to talk about. Hundreds of millions of dark money in 2012 and in 2010 are infiltrating the system. Nobody knows who gives that money except the billionaires and millionaires who are doing it. So thank you, Senator Whitehouse, for being here today, and thank you very much, Chairman King, for holding this very, very important hearing on our democracy.